Raven Falls, Oregon. Population 3,280. A town you could drive past without ever noticing. Except for the old industrial quarter. There, beyond rusted fences and broken street lamps, stood the sprawling corpse of Playtime Industries. Decades ago, they created Huggy Wuggy, a towering blue toy with wide yellow eyes and a red mouth always smiling too wide. Rumors said he wasn't just a mascot. Something older lived in that factory, something that remembered hunger. Children disappeared, parents moved away, and the town learned to pretend it had never happened. Ethan Parker loved urban legends more than anything. At 17, he had shelves stacked with books about cryptids and haunted places. He convinced his friends, Maya and Tyler, to come with him that night. "You're insane," Maya hissed as they ducked under a gap in the fence. "Exactly," Ethan grinned, adjusting the camera strapped to his chest. "Imagine the views. This place is infamous." Tyler's flashlight trembled in his hand. "People disappeared here, Ethan. Actual kids. That's why we're recording," Ethan said. "We'll be in and out. 1 hour." They stepped into the yard. The factory rose above them like a waiting predator. The windows were smashed, the steel door hanging off one hinge. Inside, cold air breathed out, smelling of mildew and something sweet and rotten. Maya swallowed hard. "It's just a building," she whispered. But in the dark, it didn't feel like just a building. They crossed the threshold. Tiles cracked under their boots. Every step echoed, like footsteps following them. Rows of conveyor belts lay in frozen silence, partly dismantled. A single broken doll's head stared up from the dust. Maya lifted her camera. "Say hi to the internet," she said, trying to sound casual. But her voice came out thin. Tyler flinched as something clattered deeper inside. "Rats," Ethan assured him, even he didn't sound convinced. They passed murals flaking from the walls, paintings of smiling toys in bright colors. Except the paint was blistered, peeled away like skin. Above an archway, a faded slogan. "Huggy Wuggy loves you forever." Maya stopped. "Look, beneath the letters, someone had spray painted. He never lets go." Ethan pushed open the next door. Rows of shelves lined the walls, sagging under cardboard boxes. He lifted a box and opened it. Inside were dozens of VHS tapes, each labeled by date, some from 30 years ago. "Help me set this up," he said. They dragged an old TV onto a rolling cart, plugged it into a generator Ethan had hauled in. The screen flickered. Static filled the room, and then a recording. A birthday party. Children wearing paper hats, sitting around a cake. In the corner, towering over them, stood Huggy Wuggy. Even in low resolution, his eyes looked wrong. Not glass or plastic, something wet behind them, watching. The tape cut to black. Then a voice whispered, so faint they almost missed it. "I'm still here." The TV went dark. Tyler backed away, shaking his head. "No, we're done." But the door behind them slammed shut. And in the silence that followed, something heavy began to move upstairs. They stood frozen, listening. The footsteps above were deliberate. Slow. As if something tall was pacing, deciding where to go. Maya grabbed Ethan's arm. "Turn it off," she hissed. But the generator sputtered and died on its own. Darkness swallowed them. Tyler fumbled for his flashlight. Its beam shook across the boxes and stopped, on a shape in the doorway. Two long arms reached almost to the floor, blue fur matted with something dark. A wide grin split open, rows of needle teeth. Huggy Wuggy stepped inside. Ethan yanked Tyler's sleeve. "Run!" They bolted through the back exit, slamming it behind them. But Tyler stumbled. His flashlight clattered away, rolling across the floor. He scrambled after it and vanished. Not a sound, just empty space where he'd been. Maya screamed his name. No answer. Ethan forced her forward. They ran blind until the corridor ended in a door marked archives. Inside, tall cabinets leaned at dangerous angles. Stacks of papers lay scattered like autumn leaves. Personnel files, maintenance logs, and pages of childish scrawl. He said he was lonely. I gave him my voice so he'd have company. Now he won't stop whispering. Maya flipped through the files. Most of the employees had resigned the same month. The reasons all read the same: unexplained noises, missing inventory, hallucinations. In the far corner, an old film projector waited on a tripod. Ethan loaded a reel and cranked the handle. A flickering image appeared on the wall. Huggy Wuggy in the assembly line, towering over workers. Only, in this footage, the toy was moving on its own. One frame showed it bending down to a child, mouth stretching wider. Then the film snapped. A heavy footstep landed right behind them. Maya turned, heart slamming her ribs. But no one was there. Ethan pressed a hand over her mouth. "Listen," he whispered. From inside the walls came a low, rumbling breath, as if the building itself exhaled. Then a voice, impossibly close, yet echoing from every direction. "I'm still hungry." Metal squealed. Above them, the ventilation shaft buckled outward, as if something massive crawled inside. Bolts popped loose. The grate tore free and crashed to the floor. A massive blue hand shot down, groping blindly. Maya screamed. Ethan dragged her under the shelves. They held their breath as the arms swept past, inches away, claws scraping concrete. A moment later, the hand withdrew into darkness. They waited until the scuttling retreated. Then Ethan lifted his head. "We can't stay here." He pointed to the vent opening. "It's the only way out." Maya's eyes brimmed with terror. "You want us to crawl in there? Unless you want to wait for it to come back." They climbed into the vent. Metal walls pressed cold against their shoulders. Every clang of movement behind them sent a shock up Maya's spine. She tried not to picture the thing slithering in pursuit. Ethan crawled ahead, flashlight bobbing in one hand. The vent split left and right. He hesitated. Then a noise, soft, wet, and close, like something drooling. From the right tunnel, 2 yellow eyes gleamed. Maya choked on a scream. Ethan lunged, grabbing her wrist. They scrambled left. Behind them, claws tore through sheet metal. The vent shook as Huggy Wuggy dragged itself after them. Ethan spotted a hatch in the floor and kicked it open. They dropped through. Landing hard on cracked tile, they rolled apart. Above, the vent collapsed inward. Maya lay still, panting. A single blue finger poked through the grate. Searching, but it didn't come further. After a moment, the finger withdrew. Ethan helped Maya to her feet. They stood in the largest chamber yet, a cavernous production floor. Rows of headless Huggy Wuggy bodies hung from hooks, swaying as if in a breeze. At the far end, a control console still glowed faintly green. Maya swallowed. "Maybe we can power the exit." They approached. Monitors flickered, showing grainy feed from security cameras. One by one, the screens blinked on. Each showed Huggy Wuggy prowling different halls, as if he were in every place at once. Suddenly, a monitor cut to live feed of the room they stood in. A new figure appeared behind them, taller, broader than any mannequin. Maya turned. He was there, his arms unfolded, each finger longer than her forearm. That grin split wide enough to crack his skull. "Run!" Ethan gasped, but his voice was swallowed by a chorus of whispers. "Stay! Stay forever!" They sprinted between conveyor belts. Huggy's footsteps hammered the floor behind them. Maya saw the emergency stairwell and lunged. But Ethan turned. "I'll distract him," he shouted. "No!" Huggy's hand crashed down, separating them. Ethan looked back once, and Maya would never forget that look, resignation, and something like apology. Then Huggy bent low, and Ethan vanished behind that red mouth. Maya screamed. She ran. She didn't look back again. At dawn, she emerged into the yard. Police cars converged minutes later. She tried to explain, but no one believed. They found no trace of Ethan, no sign of Tyler. Yet that night, she awoke in her room to a voice behind her closet door. "You left me alone, but I found you." When she opened her eyes, yellow pupils glowed in the darkness, and the door began to open.